quick video on why you need a foundation, because understanding why you need one will make it easy to understand what a foundation is. Foundation, similar to a car, but I guess the house is obviously a better analogy, in the sense that a house over time generally will pick up cracks along it. These are called settlement cracks, as the house seals into the earth with the foundation that it has. Similarly, a house without the foundation will give into soil erosion, will give into the elements as well. The weather will just force the house to slip around enough to the point that the actual integrity of the house gets compromised. This will lead to major cracks along the walls, and it's essentially the walls will not be in any state to be trusted. So when talking about your fitness, your general health as well, you could train for a long-term goal, and that goal will come your way, will be manifested smoothly without interferences in the sense of injuries being acute injuries, the ones that come without notice, even though some of us would believe that they are essentially come along. Some of us believe that they do come along with a bit of notice. Warning signs at least, because it's not like you pull your hamstring overnight. You essentially forget about doing your flexibility, your warm-ups. You take it not as seriously, and when you do push yourself to your maximal, to your 100%, and suddenly out of the blue it rips, and you are unable to run at even 50% of what you used to. That's the acute injuries. There's the compound injuries as well. Those are the ones that come along after a longer period, so to speak, where you would, let's give an example. You could start as a runner, and you could be going smoothly along knocking down your times from what is 80 minutes for a 10k, then 70 minutes. Then the moment you start to nail your sub 60s, your knees start to give you issues. Those are the compound injuries where suddenly you have arthritis, suddenly your cartilage is bruised, and your tendons feel weak. You end up with those horrible days where it's cold and your knees start to ache. Just speaking about one joint now, obviously there's more joints that develop compound injuries, but that's just the one. And for that reason, you want to make sure that you have a foundation. Not just that in itself, your foundation makes it a lot easier for you to execute certain moves. Having the right foundation can make it easier for you to, for your body, not just your body, but for your individual joints that are, I want to say, not efficient. It's not the word I'm looking for. Well, let's think of a throw. I have a video on throwing, so I might as well point it out. If you are executing a long distance throw, and suddenly your shoulder gives in, having a good foundation, having a foundation in place could make it easier for your shoulder muscles, the joint itself the muscles around the joint, to execute the move, in the sense that the muscles around the joint, the rotator cuff, when I'm speaking about the shoulder now, the rotator cuff and the delts have to use up less effort, have to perform that move with less effort. So I don't know what the number was, but it was very significant. It was very substantial as well. It was a good percentage, probably 30%. Having the right foundation could mean that your shoulder itself uses 30% less effort when executing a throw. I could be very wrong about that number, but hopefully you'll correct me along the way. But it is something ridiculous like that when mentioning that a foundation means that your body doesn't have to use up as much effort to execute the certain moves, and it prevents you from. So point one, your body itself, the different joints, the different areas, the different sections of your body have to use up less effort to execute their specific moves that they are specialized in. And the second point is that your body will encounter less injuries in the form of both the acute and the compound injuries, because, well, since they are using up less effort, they essentially are saved from hitting the actual limits. And that's one of the main reasons you would acquire a foundation. Also, all of that considered, the main reason you would get a foundation is because you would encounter less interferences on your goals, on your plans, on your periodized workout program towards reaching that goal that you have in mind. Less hiccups. And that's the main reason you would get your foundation sorted. Blessings.